Well, Hoover was eating, but by the time I got my camera all rigged up, he had walked away, so Afton's chasing him down. He's going to stand back here and make sure I'm not the reason. I think I caught her at the very end of her feeding.
Well, I got a drum. I got Zeus.
You got what?
Zeus.
Zeus? Right. Zeus get his dinner. I hope he eats. We've been very worried about Little Dove. She's not been eating more than a few ounces, and so they're giving her some different medications tonight to see if they can get her started again. Sometimes after they've been sedated, they just forget to eat, and they need a little bit of appetite stimulant to get that flowing again. My stabilizer is not liking the weight of this wind sock to try and keep the wind noise down. They said nice legs. I don't know if they're talking about you or the chicken leg you had on the stick.
Well, if they were watching Explore, they totally watched me stripped out of my wet clothes over there, and I realized, oh man, if they were watching Cameron and Zabu get their stuff, they just totally watched me take all my wet clothes off. It was getting too hot. Hi, buddy. I've been chasing around 3 tigers all day in this rain.
Who?
Zabu decided to spit her panicure out this morning and ate everything else, which is weird for her because I feel like she wants to eat everything. But I couldn't get her to get out. All day I come by. These boys, the Texas boys, needed more food. They wouldn't come out of their dens. I'm like, this is so confusing. Like, you guys used to like this.
Well, it's been raining all day.
Yeah, I just figured tigers rain, it usually works out. Priya's been having a great time. But, yep, nope.
She can find the fun in anything. I see you over there, Amanda.
And now it's not raining. Everybody's chasing me because they're hungry from the dewormer murder. We only got 1 more day left. Smell? Hi. You want it? What do you say? Huh? You want a snack? Like that? No? I'm not touching you with it. Yeah? Yeah? Want some? Want something different? Amanda wants it. So I'm gonna let Devin know tomorrow after everybody does their last dose that everybody can have. Oops! I just flung me off my hand. I just missed you. That everybody can have snacks. Everybody.
Oh, good. So what she's talking about is every month we worm the cats with a dewormer, and that's ivermectin, and they don't usually mind the taste of that so much, but every quarter we have to give them 3 days of panicure, and they really don't like the panicure. So they
Which
have...
doesn't make sense. I think it tastes fine.
Afton's easy to deworm, but the cats are not.
Well, I sometimes try what they get to see why it is they don't like it, and I don't like the ivermectin. But
oh man, that is so bitter.
The panicure is not bad. It's apple flavored, so it's like pasty candy. No,
Cats
Lisa
don't have
didn't
a
believe
sweet
me.
tooth.
She tried it this morning too. I was like, no, good. Just dab it on your tongue. It's not bad. You don't want. I understand.
So in order to get them to eat that 3 days in a row, because they will just choose not to eat, they fast them the day before, and then for those 3 days, they just get a little bit more food than what will hold the medication, so that they'll keep eating for those 3 days that they need to get the dewormer.
Yep, everybody's chasing me on the
And
golf
today's
cart.
the last day?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow's the last
So
day.
they'll get their small morning portion, and then I'll tell Devin the meds cats can all have food by noon, and then all the ones not on meds can have snacks in the afternoon.
Suzanne, thank you for the donation.
You want, bud? You're very tired.
He's been sleeping a lot.
Yeah. I think this morning we haven't really been bothering with the panicurates like we try, but
He probably doesn't chase down and eat a lot of lizards.
if he doesn't want it, then we're not really forcing it on him. Nobody. Yep. Needs a nap too. That's nice. All right. Okay.
Robin, he's 21 years old, and typically they only live to be 10 or 12 in most places and in the wild, so he's already lived twice as long as a cat like him would live. Some days he eats better than others. He said he ate well this morning. I see Cameron and Zabu are... I gotta do something about this stabilizer. I'm sorry, it's gonna be shaky a minute. This is making everything really, really hot. Still raining. Cameron and Zabu are out there on vacation. Way out there. And yesterday, Zabu caught a turtle, and Cameron took it away from her, but Afton said this morning there was no sight of it, so when they finally got bored with it, it must have run back into the pond, because they're not big enough to break that shell, and even if they did, they weren't going to eat the shell. A jaguar could easily break through the turtle shell, but not these guys. They're being so cute out there. You can watch them on the overhead camera at explore.org/bigcatrescue. It's going to be a long walk to the next cat. I apologize. I should have popped on the back of that golf cart. Little white dove is not doing well. She had quit eating for a couple of days, and so the vet came in. They did blood work on her, and of course her kidneys are just absolutely horrible because she's going to be 21 years old next month. And she also had some bad teeth. So we figured, let's take out the bad teeth and see if maybe that's why she doesn't want to eat, because her mouth hurts, and see if we can get her back to eating again. And so, hang on. Hold the presses. Karen, thank you for donating. So we thought maybe if we got rid of the bad teeth, she wouldn't be in pain and she would start eating again. And of course she's on pain medications, because after you have your teeth out you don't feel like eating, but she's on pain meds. So she's been eating like 1 ounce to 3 ounces each day, which is not nearly enough. Usually she'd eat closer to 1 pound a day. So today the vets were talking to each other about what to do next, and they're going to try a different medication on her, because sometimes after a cat has been sedated, especially when they're really, really old, it's like they've gone a few days without eating, their stomach starts to shrink a little, the drugs are in their system, and they just don't feel like eating. They don't think about eating. So they're going to give her an appetite stimulant to see if she will want to eat. And a lot of times that's all it takes, is doing that for a day or two. And then once you get them back to eating, then they pick up and do fine. So that's what we're doing now. But if that doesn't take care of it, then the only kind thing to do is probably going to be euthanasia, because we can't just let her starve to death, and we can't force her to eat. So we were hoping that fixing the teeth will fix it, and we hope that this medication will get her back to eating again. Paula, thank you for donating. But if not, then it's just not fair for her to suffer. Kali! Oh, who's a good Kali? Oof. Oof. Some people are donating. It's just we put a donate button every time I go live, and I go live every day. So that's why it's not a whole bunch of people jumping on. They may have been on yesterday, the day before that. And this month, for the whole month of April, anybody who does a Facebook fundraiser for us, we're going to use that money to try and rescue circus lions and tigers that are in the Guatemala circuses. Guatemala, Kelly, thank you for donating. The country of Guatemala banned the use of big cats in circuses, and they gave the circuses until April 11th, which I think is tomorrow, to get rid of their cats. And so the Animal Defenders International is working with the government down there to set up a temporary camp where the cats can be kept safely and fed, cared for, until the permits can be gotten to import them into the U.S. And that takes months. I mean, like 8 months to a year. So it's going to take a long time to take care of those animals there before they can be shipped out to their permanent homes. And we're trying to raise money to help with their care while they're in Guatemala. And of course, we'll probably bring 3 or 4 of them here. Kathy, thank you for donating. Every time we take on a tiger, Danielle, thank you for donating. Every time we take on a tiger, we're taking on the commitment for that cat to live to be 20 something, because that's how long they usually live here. And it costs us $10,000 per year per big cat, just for their food and veterinary costs. That doesn't cover any of the overhead of the sanctuary. So if we decide we're going to take in 4 cats from Guatemala, that's $40,000 a year or more that's going to cost us. So we have to be sure that we can actually afford to take care of them before we bring them in. You guys are doing awesome tonight, though. Man, $224 already. Thank you. Karen, thank you for donating. Well, I think Cully has figured out I don't have any snacks. If I have no snacks, what good am I, right? I know. I see pretty Priya. Who's that pretty tiger? Keep peeking around the corner. I'm peeking. I'm peeking. Ashton said you were having fun in the rain. Priya can find fun in anything. Holly's chasing her ball. You made it roll? August 4th and 5th, there is an event called CatCon in Pasadena, California. They are expecting over 15,000 cat lovers to attend. I think that's what they had last year, and they're expecting it to be bigger this year. And so Chris Poole from Cola Marmalade and Big Cat Rescue are going to be sharing a booth there at CatCon. Somebody got all wet. How come you're all wet, Artemis? You have so many dens you could stay dry. And what we'll be doing there is showing videos of the cats, and he came up with a very clever video idea that I'm not gonna ruin the surprise of what he's gonna do, but it's gonna be so fun. You guys are gonna love it when it comes out. Probably won't get to see it until August, because that's when the event is, and he won't want to show it until then, but at any rate, it's gonna be really cute. And I think a lot of people will like it. And of course, our reason for going is we want to get as many of those cat lovers as we can to contact their member of Congress about championing the Big Cat Public Safety Act, so that these cats are not bred and used as pay-to-play props and then discarded into backyards and basements. So it's a great opportunity for us to meet a whole bunch of people, and what we're trying to figure out now is how do we get all the stuff out there? We're in Tampa. It's in Pasadena, California. It's a long way away. And there's going to be 4 of us going, but there's only so much you can put in your suitcase. Hey, Gabrielle. Sweet Gabrielle. And we want to hand out our newsletters, the Big Cat Times. In fact, if you haven't gotten your newsletter, you can go to, I don't know what the best way to tell you to get there is, bigcatrescue.org/big-cat-times, and you can download any of our issues. We do it quarterly, and it's just a beautiful 32-page color magazine. Amaryllis, if you email us at info@bigcatrescue.org and let us know you want to get the paper copy of the Big Cat Times, we can put you on the list for that. We do the digital because it costs us a whole lot less to send out a PDF than it does a print magazine, but you can get the PDF online. Somebody donated privately. Thank you very much for that. And somebody else did. Thank you too. Karen, thank you very much. Karen just left here today. I miss seeing her, but I think she had a tour with Jen Leon, and she left a beautiful plaque with Joseph and Sasha and a very nice message on it, so I appreciate that. We will all hold that very dear here. Are you the sleepy tiger? Yeah, you don't care if it rains, do you? That feels good. I am liking this. Oh, big yawn. So we're just trying to figure out, how many, if there's 15,000 people at this event, how many people would actually pick up a copy of the magazine and want to take it home? Because we don't want to ship a whole bunch of them. Well, first, we don't want to print a bunch of them that don't get handed out. And we don't want to then ship a bunch of them out there if they're not going to get handed out. And I just don't have any idea how many people out of that, what percentage might take a magazine. I don't know if there's anybody who would have those kind of stats. It's such a beautiful magazine, though. I think probably a lot more people would pick up a copy than most other newsletters. As far as your donation being private, if you go to bigcatrescue.org/donate and choose the big green donate button there, I know that that's private and that's done through Salsa Labs, and the only person who sees your information is us, and we don't share your information with anybody. If you do it on Facebook, I don't know what Facebook's policies are. I'm guessing, especially lately, all the privacy issues, that they're being really careful about how private your information is. But I don't even know if we get a copy of it, so it's hard for me to imagine anybody else would ever see who you were. I had a lovely Founders tour this morning. I don't do many Founders tours because they're $700, and the only reason I charge so much is not because I give such a great tour. Many of our volunteers can give you just as good a tour as I can, but because my time needs to be spent on what does the most for the cats, and so whenever I give a tour, it's expensive. But anyway, I gave one this morning, and the 2 ladies were just lovely. Shout out to you guys, Trudy and Kat. You know who you are. And they said they were going to sponsor one of the cats, so that was really nice. Who's all chuffy? I tell you, there's chuffy tigers everywhere. I see Keisha down there. Keisha tiger. Wow, $280. Thank you. And Diana, thank you for asking everybody to share. Hello, Miss Keisha. I know everybody's going to ask, what happened to her tail? We don't know for sure. The volunteers where she came from, which was a little backyard breeding Tiger Mill in Sinclairville, New York. The volunteers there said that the lions next door to her tore off her tail and her ear, and you can tell on one of her back legs her stripes don't match up very well. So apparently she's had some terrible trauma there. And what happens at a lot of these facilities is they will have one cat on one side of the fence and one cat on the other side of the fence, and anything that goes through the fence gets ripped off. We don't have shared walls anywhere. You can see, like, between these cages, there's plenty of room so that nobody can reach each other and get hurt. Another thing people always ask on these broadcasts at night is about the cage sizes. And I'm really glad that you guys do, because it means you care and you don't think that these cats belong in cages, and you're right, they don't. And so everything Big Cat Rescue does is all about ending the practice of breeding big cats for life in cages. And you can help us do that at bigcatact.com. But their cages are a minimum, even for the small cats, of about 1,200 square feet per cat, and the tigers are mostly 1,800 square feet up to 2 acres. And then they have the 2.5 acre vacation rotation, and the smaller cats have a 22,000 square foot vacation rotation. So every other Thursday the cats get swapped out in those cages so that they get different scents and different sights and smells, and, well, that's what scents are, different view, different neighbors. So it helps to improve their lives, because they sure didn't sign up for this. They do not belong in captivity. But that leads to one of the other most asked questions, which is, why can't they go free? And the reason is, it's illegal. Any cat born in a cage is doomed to live the rest of its life in a cage. So you should never support places that are breeding cats for life in cages. Hi, Nanny. Hello. And you can find out more about that at bigcatrescue.org/go-free. I bet jaguars don't care if it rains. I bet you don't. Oh, thank you for posting that link. Can you see Beecher? We will go look for him. I was so surprised this morning on our tour that he was not being his chatty self. Usually he's just yak, 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 yak. It's a talkative cat. He's a Savannah cat, and he's really, really talkative. I see Armani out there. She's on funcation. She's a leopard, 21-year-old leopard. I see you out there. Judy, thank you. We are on 67 acres. And here in Tampa, acreage is now going for $100,000 an acre, so it's ridiculously expensive and impossible for us to expand, and even more impossible for us to move. People say all the time, you should move out in the middle of nowhere. We were in the middle of nowhere, and nowhere moved in around us. Oh, it looks like he's on the hunt for something, which is exactly why they have to be dewormed. They catch lizards and mice and snakes and goodness knows what all. What have you got, son? Eileen, thank you for donating. Are you gonna chat? Are you gonna say rah? Rah? Only if you think about it, huh? Only if it's your idea. Teacher is always on the look for anything moving. something now? What are you gonna pounce? What are you watching? You watching the bird? Nope. Bird's up there. Something down here about knee level that I can't see. You see ghosts? Just got a text from Jamie. Jamie went in to check on little white dove to see how she was doing. And she's bright and alert and growly and everything that she normally is. She's just not eating. So hopefully that medication will get her back on track. Hi. Servals don't mind the rain at all. In fact, they are often referred to as reed cats because they hunt in the water alongside riverbanks and lakes in the high reeds. Feels good, huh? Yeah. We're just so happy to be outside. The place where he came from, he was in a very small, I don't know, maybe 6 feet by 8 feet. 6 feet by 10 feet. Dark, dank cage. No grass to lay in. No view of anything going on. Hey, Natalia. What you doing, Fancy Pants? Where'd you go? Did you disappear? Did you just disappear? How'd that happen? Oh, there she is. There she is. Are you trying to decide if I have anything worthwhile? I don't. I'm sorry. Ginger, we gotta plant some grass in there. We had work crews here the last weekend, and so they raked all of the leaves out of our cage. But now we need to get some grass seed on the ground because nothing was going to grow in that big pile of leaves. But now that it's gone, we can get some grass going. That is a pretty girl, I agree. We passed by Riza and I didn't see her. Oh, there's Natalia. And she's off. What are you chasing? I think it got away. Whatever that was. We are blessed to have it be so green here. And the way that we have it so green is we have a lot of rain. So it's a bit of a hardship on the keepers. Cats don't seem to mind it too much. And the plants love it. Yeah, we go through, Juana just said we sow a lot of grass seed. No kidding. We go through a ton of grass seed. And we go through two different kinds. In the winter, we plant something called winter rye, and it only grows when it's really cold. And then as soon as you get that first hot spell, it kills it. So our winter rye didn't last very long at all this year because we only had like very brief cold spells and then really hot spells in between. So each time you'd have a hot flash, it'd kill all the grass. And then the other type of grass that we plant is a year-round type grass. But we have so much shade here that most grasses don't grow great in the shade. and because of all the shade, we got a ton of leaves, and so we're always having to rake leaves up so the grass can get enough sunlight to grow. Boy, that bush needs to be cut back. It's a beautiful, ooh, it's about to bloom too. Look at that. This is a gardenia, and that's going to be, all of these are going to be big, gorgeous, I mean, absolutely amazing, stunning gardenia flowers, and the smell is heavenly. We have a lot of gardenias and jasmine planted around the sanctuary because we used to have a lot of ocelots, and ocelots have the stinkiest, stickiest spray of any of the cats, and so we planted those all over the place to try and mitigate that. Now we only have one ocelot, so it's not like it used to be, but the plants are still here. I just wish we had trimmed that back before it got all those buds on it, because it's a little unwieldy. Do you hear that? Woo-hoo! Woo-hoo! That's Gilligan, Canada lynx. Looking to see if Kelowna and Dryden are visible. Hear that? That's probably Priya or Gabby calling. And that video that Afton did today was because those guys call so much, and it's such a cool sound. Just got another text from Jamie, and she was saying that the keepers should leave the hospital doors standing open tomorrow so that little white dove can see outside and see if maybe that stimulates her into feeling a little better. They can get depressed indoors. Hi. Here's my sweet Lakota. Sweet Lakota Bobcat. I promise not to be scary. Oh, and there's little Sue underneath the platform. He gave away your hiding spot by looking at you. Yeah, he shouldn't have looked at you, or I wouldn't have known you were there. That was a cross between a growl and a yawn. You can tell I'm just not that scary. Dakota, I like that name. Pretty little Sue. Yeah, big ol' yawn. Big ol' snoozy yawn. You can go to the other side. Goodness, it's noisy, huh? People can't drive in the rain for sure. Anthony, that was Sue and Lakota. Lakota was the one that was out, and Sue is the one that was under the platform. And anywhere that you see cats together here, they're all spayed or neutered. We don't believe in breeding cats for life in prison. Hi, Pharaoh. This is Rare. You gonna let Grandma get close? This is Pharaoh, and he's a white serval. To my knowledge, that's never happened in the wild. See that one spot on the back of his neck? That's the color he should be, orange and black. More of a yellowish orange. Whenever exotic cats are severely inbred, sometimes the kittens or cubs are born white. So white servals, white lions, white tigers, it's all a very, very bad thing because one, they could never survive in the wild, and two, when you do that much inbreeding, they end up with a lot of health issues and birth defects. So it's just a really bad thing to do. And some grass. Grass is so good. Let's see, they're long-legged cats like the regular servals. He's also got one of those patches of color on his hip. They're not albinos. If they were albinos, they would have pink eyes, and he has beautiful green eyes. This is not the one who had nose surgery. That's his brother Tonga. This is Pharaoh. We don't usually see Pharaoh because he's so shy. Yeah. I'll let you go back to your napping. See if we can find Nabisco and Mrs. Claus. I think Mrs. Claus. Maybe that's just Nabisco all sopping wet. I think it is. You are so wet. What were you doing? No, that's Mrs. Claus. What were you doing? Were you having fun? Was it fun? I know, you're just so silly. Oh, don't pee on me, please. That's why people don't keep them as pets. As soon as they get to be adults, they pee all over everything to mark it as theirs. So she's marking her territory. That cute little tail. Oh my goodness, you're killing me. Where did you go? Where's Nabisco? Where's your bud? Thinking she's going to go through the tunnel there. You going to go in a different part of your cage? Well, where'd he go? Take me to him. You gonna mark the ball too? That's your ball. Feed on that. And she's marking her glands on her favorite stump. That's mine too. Mine, mine, mine. Mine, 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 mine. I'm sure you've seen your cats at home do that. That's what they're doing. They're marking things. Yeah, our smallest cat cages for like bobcats and such are 1,200 square feet. This one that she's in is actually bigger. It's a triplex. And a lot of our cats have 2 and 3 and 6 of those enclosures all hooked together. You can find out all about it at bigcatrescue.org/cages. Oh, Diana posted the link there. Thank you. On that hill is one of Small's favorite places, and right in here on that platform is usually where I find Nabisco these days. Oh, there he is over there. So you can see all those cages back there, the ones that she was in, and then they're also hooked together with this set over here, and we're getting ready to add another 1,200 square foot to them. We just need to put on a tunnel. Hi! Who's a good boy? Who's a good Nabisco? Oh, he's a good boy. What are you stalking? What are you stalking? Is it my shoes? Are you watching those? Yeah, those are interesting. You love those? He's so fast, I have to be ready to pull this away from the wall or he's going to land on my camera. Who's a good boy? He's such a good boy. Wow, you guys have raised $300 tonight. That's awesome. I see Mrs. Claus has come over to join him in the tunnel. Better look at those socks. Do you want those socks? I want those socks so bad. I want to have them. Who's purring? Are you purring? You're purring so loud. Purr, 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 purr. Was it fun to play in the rain? Splashing in the mud. You're looking like such a grown-up boy with those long, skinny legs. Woo! Sharpen her claws. Yeah, the tunnels are great, and we have to separate the cats when we feed them, so it's a really easy way to shut them off from each other while they're eating, so they don't have to fight over their food. Cats are solitary by nature. You can find out more about that at bigcatrescue.org/solitary. But sometimes when they're young, we can put them together and then they have somebody to play with that they'll tolerate, but they're not tolerating anybody at feeding time. Oh dear. You're just too fast for me. You're too fast. You just knocked me right back off onto my butt. in all the time that we watched Cameron and Zabu, they weren't able to crack that shell. And this morning the turtle was missing entirely, which tells me the turtle got away, because there would have been bits and pieces of shell all over the place if they had managed to crack it open, and they clearly didn't. Elizabeth asked if they would be aggressive toward the people who feed them. And yes, they would, because they just don't know their own strength. And if you've ever watched these guys play with each other, oh my gosh, I mean, they grab each other by the back of the neck and they throw each other all around. And the bigger cats, if they do that to us, they're going to kill us. And the littler ones are going to leave us bleeding all over the place. So it's not that they're vicious, it's just that they're so much more powerful than we are. And they're equipped with all those little razor blades on their paws and in their mouths. What you watching? What do you see back there? Yeah, Amanda would just kill you for fun. Patricia, there hasn't been escape in forever. I'd say, I don't know, 15 years or more maybe. And we don't really think the cat got out on its own. We're pretty sure that it was one of our volunteers who let the cat out on purpose. But the cat was recovered quite easily. I see you up there, mister. You gotta keep one eye on him and one eye on her. He loves to lay in that tunnel. I think he likes the way the breeze comes up under his belly. Kind of that Marilyn Monroe pose. You can rub all over the cage. That's your cage too. All those walls are yours. Is he trying to hang ugly art on your walls? Laurel, we were in the midst of a lawsuit with it was a really long story, but one of our volunteers had a pet cougar, and one of our other volunteers got bit by her pet cougar, but he decided we were the deeper pockets, and so they said that it happened here, and they were going to sue Big Cat Rescue, hoping that they could make a lot of money off of that. So those are the two volunteers that I think let the cat off the property together to try and show that she was a menace to society. But when they were deposed, because they were lying, they got caught and ended up ratting each other out. And so the lawsuit was dropped because it was discovered that it actually happened at her house with her pet cougar and not a cat here. You're kicking yourself in the head. Silliness. Let's head over and see if Andy or Seth, the tigers, are out. I drove my truck tonight, so I don't have to worry about getting home before dark. That's our gift shop, and when people are waiting for their tour, they can go through that caged-in tunnel down into this cage here, which used to be one of our bobcat cages, and they can see what it's like to actually be locked in a cage. And I hope that that makes people realize that these cats don't belong in cages any more than they do. Where's the tigers? I see a sleepy paw there. We're not going to see Andy. See that paw? Right there, sticking out of the den. Scott, thank you for donating. I'm not seeing Seth either, so he must be over by food prep. But we'll look. I gotta do something about that tree. It's starting to hang down so low. I'm a little bit worried the camera's not gonna be able to see over there. Are you out there, Seth? It's so lush. Nope, don't see him. Lori, thank you for donating. So I'm going to call it a night. Just a little hand there. There's the gift shop and the wedding arbor. And then that little square box that you see, that's about the size of a parking space, that's what Florida says you can keep 2 adult tigers in for their whole life, or 2 adult lions. And Florida, sadly, has the most humane laws when it comes to how big the cage has to be. So it's even more pathetic anywhere else in the world. And then that's Max and Mary Ann's cage there on the right. Way down there on the end are 6 tiger cages, and there are only 2 cats sharing those cages currently. And then on the left over there, far left corner, that's Kali tiger that we saw earlier. And then over there to the left, closer to that little tuft of grass out in the water, that's Cameron and Sabu's cage. But they're on vacation rotation right now, so it's empty. Hey, Lori. So thank you everybody for joining us tonight. I really appreciate all the donations. You guys raised $340. I love that. That goes to taking care of the cats. We have to raise $4 million a year, so every little bit really helps. And what we're finding is the largest source of income, other than the people who have known us all these years and been donating and our tours, is starting to come from Facebook and YouTube. And that's from you guys sharing our videos on both Facebook and YouTube. On Facebook, it comes because people are doing these Facebook fundraisers. And I think the last check we got was like $12,000 for a 2-week period. It was amazing. And then same thing with YouTube. That thing's generating like anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000 a month just by people watching the videos. So it's wonderful that you guys are sharing those links and getting other people excited about Big Cat Rescue, because that helps us take care of these cats, and it helps us get rid of the problem, which is people paying to have their pictures made with cubs. Oh, I hear the tigers across the lake. So anytime you see somebody posting a picture of themselves with a cub, call them out on it, because it's bad. There's no good way to do that, and if you don't have all the facts on it, you can go to bigcatrescue.org/cubs and learn the sad truth behind all of those pay-to-play schemes. And if you're a U.S. citizen, you can take action to end them at bigcatact.com. And if you're not a U.S. citizen, we have other things that you can take action on. You just can't do that one because you have to reach out to your member of Congress, and you don't have a member of Congress if you're not a U.S. citizen. But we have a lot of other bills that you can take action on because there are things that the recipient is not a political person. It's maybe somebody at like NCIS that was using a cat in their show that they shouldn't have been, things like that. So those are all at catlaws.com. Thank you, everybody. Love you guys. Bye-bye. Whoops. Shouldn't turn off stabilizer before you turn off the video.